It was 2016. Two astronomers at Caltech, Konstantin Batygin and Mike Brown, were sitting with data that kept behaving badly. 6 distant icy bodies out beyond Neptune, scattered at the fringes of our solar system, were all tilted and clustered in the same peculiar direction. The odds of that happening by chance were roughly 1 in 14,000. Batygin reportedly turned to Brown and said quietly that either there was a planet out there or something was very wrong with their understanding of the solar system. Neither option was small. That was the moment the mystery had a name again: Planet 9. Or, if you prefer the older, more theatrical title that has never quite gone away, Planet X. A disappearance in the dark, the idea of a hidden world beyond what the eye can see, is older than telescopes. In 1846, astronomers tracked irregularities in the orbit of Uranus and concluded that something unseen was pulling at it. They did the mathematics, pointed a telescope at the calculated position, and found Neptune exactly where they expected it to be. Science had proven a ghost real. The triumph was so clean, so satisfying, that it permanently changed how physicists think about anomalies. A discrepancy in motion was no longer a problem, it was a clue. That lesson was never forgotten. When Pluto was discovered in 1930, Clyde Tombaugh wasn't looking for Pluto. He was looking for Planet X, a hypothetical massive body that astronomers Percival Lowell had theorized was disturbing the orbits of Uranus and Neptune. Pluto, it turned out, was far too small to be the culprit. The anomalies Lowell had chased were later attributed to measurement errors. Planet X, for a time, was retired as a concept, the embarrassed idea of a man who had died searching for something that wasn't there. But science, much like suspicion, has a way of resurfacing. The shape of an absence. You cannot see it, you cannot photograph it, but if the mathematics holds, you can feel its gravity, the way you might sense someone standing behind you in a dark room. What Batygin and Brown proposed in their 2016 paper was a planet somewhere between 5 and 10 times the mass of Earth, orbiting the Sun at a distance so enormous that a single trip around it might take 10 to 20,000 years. 10 to 20,000 years. To put that into proportion, when this world was last in the part of its orbit it may currently occupy, human beings were first beginning to draw animals on cave walls. Its estimated orbit is not circular, but wildly elongated, a stretched ellipse that carries it deep into the cold dark and then swings it back, never quite close enough to be easily spotted. At its farthest point, it would be perhaps 800 times further from the Sun than Earth. It reflects, in 2021, a large group of astronomers and what the dark holds. There is a kind of vertigo that comes from thinking about the outer solar system seriously. The distances involved are not distances the human body has any evolutionary preparation for. Light, which crosses a room in a nanosecond and circles the Earth 7 times in a second, takes 4 hours to reach Neptune. If Planet 9 sits at its predicted average orbital distance, a signal sent from Earth would arrive there nearly 2 days later. And yet, something may be sitting out there in all that cold and dark, orbiting our Sun with the slow patience of geological time, completely indifferent to whether we ever find it. It has influenced the shape of the outer solar system for billions of years. It pulled on those 6 icy bodies and left its fingerprints in their orbital mechanics. And then it swung back out into the black, before anyone could turn a telescope and say, there. The data is real. The anomalies are real. The mathematical models are rigorous and peer-reviewed. What remains unresolved is whether these signs point to a world, enormous, silent, patient, or whether they point instead to the limits of what we currently know about the architecture of our own celestial neighborhood. Whether there is a ghost in the machine, or just the machine behaving in ways we have not yet fully understood. The Vera Rubin Observatory will begin its full sky survey. The Subaru telescope will keep its gaze on the predicted orbital arc. The citizen scientists will keep sifting through archival light. Somewhere out there beyond the last-named world we know, either something waits to be found, or nothing does, and both possibilities, when you sit with them long enough, carry their own particular weight.